Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Macrocast, your source for news and entertainment with the Minds by Macro Records. We're your hosts. I'm Manson.
I'm Downlow'd.
Welcome to another fabulous week of interesting topics.
Welcome to the podcast. We got fun and games.
Where we talk about things like fun and games, TV, movies, and video games.
And Solitaire.
Pop culture.
I play a lot of Spider Solitaire.
Downlow'd doesn't even properly consume content. He just he was like, yeah, I play Spider Solitaire while I watch TV shows. How do you do that? No, you're not watching a TV show then. You're playing Spider Solitaire.
Dude, what am I supposed to do? Just lay there and just, watch?
Yes!
No, I don't
You're supposed to listen to what the people are saying and look at the screen?
I can do both of those things.
How do you look at the screen?
I can do 3 things at one time.
So you're looking at your Spider Solitaire.
I'm a fucking talented individual.
And you're also... How do you notice small things within a show that may be important?
Dude, we'll talk about Mr.Robot in a minute. I finished all of that.
Oh, you watched the whole thing?
I've watched it all.
Yeah.
And okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I totally the only thing that I don't remember and you guys know if you listen to the Macrocast, you know that I never remember character names. But his sister, or the chick. You know,
Darlene.
I don't remember her name,
because this is
that's
what
the
happened.
one thing I never remember.
She came on screen, and someone said her name, and you were trying to decide where you're going to put the 7 of hearts. You know, so
no, I don't even. I don't even do that. I play Spider Solitaire on medium.
What's the difference between Spider Solitaire and regular Solitaire?
Spider Solitaire is Spider Solitaire. I don't even know. I can't even explain this to you right now. You guys just look it up. Look up the difference and play it yourselves if you want.
I mean, I only play regular Solitaire.
So you said basically in Spider Solitaire you do an entire suit of red or black, and then once you do an entire suit it sets it up. Okay. In Solitaire it's not done until you do all the stuff on the aces, but in I only play it on medium, so I only have the black cards and it's still really hard for me. This is like when I play video games, I don't play them. I play them on normal. I don't start off on hard or anything like that.
I've been replaying the original Halo game, the very first one, Halo Combat Evolved.
That's dumb.
I've been playing on normal.
That's the first Halo on Xbox. You have an original Xbox?
No, it's remastered in the Master Chief Collection. I've been playing the campaign.
Because you listen to that radio show or what?
Well, and Halo 5 is coming up, so I'm going to play all 4 Halo games, actually all 5 of them. So How Long to Beat listed it as 10 hours to beat. I've put in 15 hours already, and I'm still not done. I'm on the last mission.
Okay, guys, let me just say right now, we're drinking some Tecates, and I was telling Alex, I was like, dude, Dan Harmon is my spirit animal. I could hang out with Dan Harmon, and I think we would get along pretty well. But I watched this this thing where he was with Justin Roiland, and they were talking about Rick and Morty, right? But they ended up spending the last 10 or 15 minutes talking just about Arkham Knight and The Witcher 3. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I could definitely hang out with these guys. Dan Harmon was like, dude, Arkham Knight is just the best game. It's so well put together, and
it really is.
So I mean, I don't think that anyone denies that, but they both love The Witcher 3 too. Those guys, it seems like we could probably hang out with those guys, and they would have a great time. Have a good time.
This past week, the new Metal Gear Solid game came out, and it's got perfect scores from almost everywhere.
I've seen crazy GIFs and a lot of boobs. A lot of boobs.
I need to pick up that game because everyone's saying it's amazing. I definitely want to play it.
Yeah, I'll play it and probably masturbate while I play it.
No, you masturbate, play Spider Solitaire, and another video game. At the same time.
And I'll also be watching an episode of some TV show and taking it all in at the same time. That's what I'll be doing.
If you enjoy the show, please don't forget to go on iTunes and leave us a review. We'll read your comments out on the show. Say whatever you want. We don't care.
You can flame us. As if you've checked out the last episode, it's called Flame Us. It's good. But also, we have a Facebook page as well. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/themacrocast. So go ahead and if you care, go ahead and leave a comment there. we'd really appreciate it if you left a comment on the actual podcast itself. If you share the podcast or the page, it would be massively appreciated. We love you long time.
And if you want to tweet us, and we'll read out your tweets on the show, tweet us at Macro Records and use the hashtag #TheMacroCast so we know you're talking about the show. Macro news. The track you're hearing this week is the digital BPM remix of LSD. We've been previewing a remix each week. We've only got one more to go, and then the 2 releases will come out after that. One week and one the next.
Digital BPM is Nick Twist. He's released on Macro Records before, and another dude.
Another artist,
another. Yeah, I don't know if he's an artist. He's, and the guy is like,
I mean, he made the remix.
I feel like he makes they work together, and the dude cooks food or Nick.
Oh,
cooks
so he's
food.
moral support?
He's like the chef.
What?
He's a chef while
the chef
Nick,
of these properly made beats,
or maybe he makes music and Nick is the chef.
I don't know. We'll never find out.
He cooks what's that chimichangas while this other dude's making music. You know, I don't know how it works. You guys can go ahead and find out. They don't have any social media. They have no
Nick
social
Twist
media.
Does. No,
Nick Twist definitely does.
Yeah.
You can look up Nick Twist for sure. Digital BPM has no social media at this point. Yeah. So you're hopeless. It's like trying to reach James Cameron by phone call. It's not going to happen. I've tried to reach him. Tried to be like, hey, Jim, why don't you feature my new idea in Avatar where all the aliens are black?
And God, everyone, you're just so close with him, right? You call him Jim.
I call him Jim.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Jim Gordon. And he was like, that's not my name is Jim Cameron.
All right.
But my friends call me James.
Okay.
And the aliens are never going to be just black. They're blue. They're all blue, and they're called avatars.
So let's.
The avatars are
no. Stop.
The avatars. What are the avatars in Avatar?
I don't know.
The avatars are the things that they wear.
I don't
Aren't
know.
they the suits?
I don't know.
You don't know what they? Oh no, the Avatar is where the guy I
have a confession. I haven't seen Avatar.
Wait, what the fuck? You've never seen Avatar?
I mean, I missed it when it was in theaters.
You're so full of shit.
What
You've
do you
never
mean?
seen Avatar?
I've never seen Avatar.
Wait, what the fuck? You've never seen the movie Avatar?
Yes. Are you deaf?
How have you never seen? It's just hard for me to swallow.
I told you I missed it when it was in theaters.
Are you talking about Avatar, or are you talking about the last Avatar by M. Night Shyamalan?
I'm not talking about Avatar the ass airbender.
The Nickelodeon one.
No, I'm talking about James Cameron's Avatar.
You've never seen Avatar with Sigourney Weaver?
No.
And the other chicks?
No.
Zoe Saldana, I'm pretty sure, is in it.
I've never seen it.
Bruce Willis is in it.
Haven't seen it.
He's not in it.
I wouldn't know because I haven't seen it.
Dude, you're gonna get so flamed for
Should
this.
I go I'll watch it next week and report back.
Well, dude, it actually is a really good movie. I'll watch it too. It's a great movie.
Honestly,
I own it.
I did just miss it. It was in theaters and I wanted to go and I never went. It got great reviews, but I never rented it.
It is a great movie, dude.
That's why I hate not going to the theaters to see something because it means it's
sometimes you miss out.
It's doomed to make it into my.
I mean, it's just sometimes you forget to. I mean, how are you going to watch it?
I still haven't seen Mad Max, dude.
I haven't either.
Everyone is like, you have to. Someone last night was like, you haven't seen it? I'll buy it for you right now.
Dude, Reed Speed was tweeting about it, and I was like, yeah, have you seen the one with Mel Gibson, though? And she was like, no.
What?
And she was like, I watched this fucking movie on the flight from LA to DC.
I may not have seen James Cameron's Avatar, but I've seen all 3 of the original Mad Max movies.
I have not.
They're really good.
I believe that, and I'll watch. But she was like, the only reason that I ended up watching it is because I was on this flight from LA to DC. So that ended up happening. I was like, oh, was it good? Is it worth watching? She was like, definitely watch it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that you definitely need to see Avatar, though. That came out in 2000. Okay,
so what
2009.
I'll do this week, next week I'll report back. I'm going to watch James Cameron's Avatar and Mad Max Fury Road. I'll report back.
No, you're gonna watch Mad Max Fury Road?
I'm gonna watch both of them.
Well, then I have to watch it too.
Well, so be it.
That's not cool.
So let's
It's not
talk
cool to
about,
make me do that, dude.
Let's jump into our first topic.
Audience, just put in
No,
the comment section if it's
stop.
cool for me to do that.
Oh god.
Is it cool or not?
So Apple held their annualized press conference this past week.
And they said that they're going to put Avatar in every new phone by James Cameron.
They announced what was expected: the 6S and the 6S Plus.
Was that really expected? I didn't even realize that they were going to be doing a new thing.
Yeah. Every year, dude.
Yeah, I know that they do it every year, but I didn't know there was...
They've also announced a new equipment plan where you can upgrade iPhones each and every year.
That's kind of cool. Is that through every service?
I believe so. Yes.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I might do that just to have it. But okay, so Seven Skies, who's a really talented producer that I follow on Twitter as well. You guys should go follow him. He does a lot of amazing presets. He's an awesome sound designer. He was tweeting to Martin Vorwerk, who, if you don't know, is like an amazing ghost producer. He's produced for a lot of people that I can't even talk about right now. But Martin Vorwerk was like, nothing looks appealing to me from this Apple showcase.
No.
Like, nothing looks good at all. And Seven Skies was like, are you serious? I would buy everything except for the Apple TV. And then I was like, dude, I wouldn't buy any of that shit.
Well,
like,
I mean, Apple TV... Okay, Apple TV is pretty much a poor man's Xbox One.
I just got a message saying, too bad we won't live long enough to see artificial intelligence transcend through the universe.
Okay.
Like, what the fuck does that have
relevant.
to do? I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I've never had a conversation with anyone that has to do with that. And I got a message with that on the Facebook right now. That doesn't make any sense.
On the Facebook?
On
Drop the...
Did I say the Facebook?
You just said the Facebook.
I said Facebook. Did I say the Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm now
so
70
way,
years
God
old.
Damn it.
And I'll never own an iPhone because I don't know how to work.
Okay, so back in 2003, I believe it was, Microsoft had their first tablets, and everyone made fun of Bill Gates, and no one's gonna buy it. Those things are shitty.
You're a dumbass, Bill!
Exactly. And then they fizzled out, and then 4 years later, Steve Jobs came out with the iPad. And he said, "Fuck yeah, Steve!" Exactly. Everyone's like, "God damn, that shit's so great." And one of the things Steve Jobs said in 2010 or 2007 was, "It doesn't have a pen. It doesn't need a pen. Who wants a fucking pen?"
Right. And there's a bunch of memes that are going around right now.
Fast forward 8 years later, and the new head of Apple,
Steve Jobs is dead.
Yeah, he's rolling in his grave because they've announced the Apple Pencil. What? And they're probably going to try and trademark the words pencil.
Kind of makes sense for what they're trying to do, though. Like, I saw the memes, and I was like, okay, like...
It's for an overpriced iPad, though. The iPad Pro, which is just...
What if it's, like, someone who does, like, serious artwork, though,
It's basically a Microsoft Surface, dude.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't know. If someone does, like, serious artwork on an iPad Pro... and they need the pencil to do, like, some shading or something, like, really legit where they would do, like, on an actual canvas, it kind of makes sense. It depends on how legit the functions are on the actual iPad Pro. You know what I mean? Like, how legit the response is, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, okay.
People can make legit artwork.
True, but it still runs on an iOS based operating system. Apple's mobile.
Oh, it's not running on Linux?
Well, the point I was trying to make before was that it runs on a mobile OS, the iPad Pro. It's not a full-fledged OS. So you're limited to the same things that the regular iPad is limited to. And it still doesn't have a USB drive or anything like that.
I mean, my whole point on this is that artists could still use it for some reason or other. I mean, they could find some use for it. Otherwise, Apple would not have developed that. You know? I just feel like it's there for a reason. They feel like they could make some money off of it. Why would some company be like, "Oh, we're just going to make something and not make any money off of it"? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make you don't think that makes sense?
Well, I mean, just because they made it doesn't mean it's guaranteed to be a success.
No, but I think that they have to think that there's going to be some reason for people to buy it.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's been what the whole point of this was the success of the Surface has prompted Apple to make basically the exact same thing, except limited, and 5 years after Microsoft did it, which is this recurring trend.
We don't even really. I mean, we'll see how limited it really is in 2 weeks when it actually gets released, right?
I don't know if it's 2 weeks.
They said that everything's going to be released in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
On the 28th, I think.
The iPhones already opened yesterday.
Right. For the iPhones, everything is going to be released at the end of September. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure it's the same case for the iPads and the Apple TVs, but I'm not 100% sure. At the very latest, we'll be seeing it at the very beginning of October. But that is actually what Steve Wozniak said at the...
Oh, wait. You keep saying Steve Wozniak. I don't think that's who it was.
He said that. He wasn't presenting the actual thing, but he said that it's going to be available at that point.
Okay.
So.
Well, let's talk about TV. There's a new trailer for Flash. We saw the one for Arrow last week. Both are bad.
Well, okay, wait. You talk about it first, and then I'll chime in.
Well, I mean, it's not even really a legitimate trailer. It's 30 seconds long. We get a glimpse of Jay Garrick. He's not old. He's not old like how Downlow'd wanted.
It's not even how I want him to be old. It's just the fact that he is fucking old. Jay Garrick is not oh my god, dude. Oh my god. All right, so if you watch, what I really like is how they have in the Young Justice and the Earth 16 continuity, how Jay Garrick is like much older than Barry and Wally.
He's like a senior citizen.
He's 70 years old.
Yeah.
But at this point, Wally doesn't really exist. So Jay could be 50.
But it's not. They're not in Earth 16 though.
I understand.
He's come from Earth 16, so he could be pretty much any age.
Talking from someone who's also read the JSA and JLA and Justice League comics, all of that, the pre-New 52 and New 52 shit, I think that Jay Garrick should still be... He's always got gray to white hair, so he should always be 60. Late 50s, early 60s. And in the show, and the thing is, in the show, they've taken a lot of liberties, and that's okay. It's just going to be, it's going to open it up for different audiences. So, go figure.
I mean, either way, though, with the theory of the multiverse, he could potentially, for as long as he's had known that he's had a connection to the Speed Force, he could have come across when he was 20 years old,
Why not make Jay Garrick 12 and be you're going to be his new sidekick, Jay? And he's going to be listen, I'm from the past. Impulse is a different thing. He's not from the
past, though. He's from a different Earth.
Jay Garrick kind of is from the past, though.
In terms of this, what's going on with the show, obviously the Arrowverse is taking place on some Earth which has been yet to be identified, right?
Yes.
So potentially any character who has a connection to the Speed Force could come over at any time. They don't, it's not like he's oh, I'm 50 years old now, I can cross over and, visit the rest of the planets. I understand what you're saying. Stories that take place within Earth 16, he's always older because...
Earth 16 is only Young Justice.
Oh, you were talking about Earth 2, what had happened on Earth 2.
Yeah, Earth 16 is only Young Justice.
Yeah.
But I also, in the comics, that's Earth 2, I believe.
The pre-New 52,
yeah. Yeah. So and then is New 52 a different Earth?
But that's the same thing. If he was Flash in the 70s, I get your point. He was Flash in whatever decade that was.
They never really cover that.
But either way, once the other heroes are along, he's older. I get what you're saying.
It's a JSA thing, and if he was to show up in the Flash universe, he should be talking about Alan Scott, and he should be talking about all of the guys that are involved with the JSA. But when I know that when he's going to show up, they're going to be oh, he's a new character. He's just a new character. Oh, he's the Flash from another world. You know? But you have to realize that there are also 50 other Flashes from other different worlds. And even the Flash that is 51, because even there's a Flash from the world that Jay Garrick is from.
Yeah.
Jay Garrick's.
The DJ.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm totally with you. Hawkgirl and I guess Hawkman's gonna be in the show too.
Their costumes look good.
Yeah, they look really good.
I mean, I just wish that both of the characters were a little bit more fit physically, because I mean, in the comics they both look jacked. I mean, realistically, the thing is, it's hard to find people who are like bodybuilders that can also act.
Well,
but Hawkman is jacked.
Yeah, but she's also not a Thanagarian. She's a human.
But Hawkman Carter has always been jacked.
I wonder, is his name Carter?
Carter Hall?
Yeah. Well, I know that's his name, but in terms of the Flash in Legends of Tomorrow, I don't know if they had done something different, because obviously Hawkgirl is different. Like it's the new Hawkgirl, new 52 Hawkgirl is who she's supposed to be, right? Something along those lines.
Yeah, she's supposed to have this spirit of Shire.
Inside of her. Well, and they talk about it.
I think that in the pre-New 52, Hawkgirl dies. So in Blackest Night, I think that she dies and she succumbs to Necrons, like or whatever it is, because Swamp Thing is what comes back. Like Swamp Thing is the avatar of life, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So it's Alec Holland, but he like sucks in all of these characters. So Hawkman and Hawkgirl, Martian Manhunter, Aquaman, Firestorm. I think that those are the only characters. I'm not sure, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments rather. But Hawkgirl ends up just dying, and everyone else gets spits out. And Carter's like, "What, Hawkgirl? Like, why?" And he's like, "She became part of the universe." So maybe her spirit is what inhabits the other character. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they would even choose this other character. They should have just gone with the original Shira.
Well, they talk about she talks about how her character is having like these visions or these dreams that she knows aren't her own. So I'm guessing that, but so was Shira. You know, she was having visions of the old Thanagarians who lived on Earth during ancient Egypt.
But it's different because this girl is a different character.
Yeah, no,
that's in like, and she's got Shira's memories of being Shira.
Yeah,
and not like just, you know what I mean? Like Shira had memories of like being of being married to Khufu, and like they had like 8 different lives. And in the Blackest Night, the whole story, like they go through all this, and there's some other character that like that tries to jock them on this or whatever.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, these 2 trailers I've seen for Flash and Arrow don't have me that excited.
So Hawkman and Hawkgirl aren't going to have their own TV show, but they're going to be in Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So is Hawkman officially is going to be part of Legends of Tomorrow? I heard that they're going to have their own TV show as well, though.
All I know is that they're both being introduced on Flash and Arrow, and that we'll see them both on Legends of Tomorrow as well.
But I personally feel like Hawkman should just be super jacked.
Okay.
Like
I have no control over that.
All right. You just let them know, okay? Yeah. I mean, none of the characters... also, their suits are really loose-fitting as well. Like, they're more casual style, if that makes sense. Let's just be real here. They're more, like, casual style, right? Like, I feel like...
I don't get how they're casual.
I mean, like, in the same way that the Flash's suit is casual. So you and I talked about this, and you were like, no, if you go, like, too tight, you go, like, Ben Affleck Daredevil tight. And I was like, I kind of like Ben Affleck Daredevil. Like, you know, that's just me. Like, I like the suits. I thought Elektra looked hot. You know, that's just my personal opinion. I feel like the new Daredevil, like, the suit just looks like, I don't know, it looks like clothes.
It's got too much two-tone in it, I think, is what my problem with it is. But
it just looks like clothes. Like, it's tight, but it looks like clothes, and it looks like you can maneuver in it, but they go for too much realism when in reality, like, that. Well, I mean, in the comic books, like, the superheroes are decked out in, like, spandex.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, how do you have to find a cool medium between, like, the spandex, which should be super tight and should, like, show off the bodies, because these are superhumans, right? This is just my personal opinion. I think that like, they're stronger than the regular human being. Like, they're setting an example. Like they're jacked, you know, like they're there.
Well, I think like some characters obviously look a lot more jacked than others.
Well, some aren't.
Shazam, for instance,
dude, he's a magical character.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's like ridiculously buff.
Yeah, he's a kid, but he's like Shazam and turns into this like bodybuilder. Like he can rival Superman.
Yeah.
But Zatanna is not really a character that you would see working out at the gym that much, but just keeps a good figure. You know, she. I mean, why are you laughing at this? It's like true. It's real.
Hey, you know Zatanna, she keeps a great figure, man.
Dude.
I wonder how they do it.
Okay.
Like,
No,
how does she find time to work out?
Oh, dude, she finds time to work out. What are you talking about? She's got plenty of time. So, look, Nightwing hooked up with Zatanna, you know?
Well, I mean, Nightwing probably works out a lot.
Nightwing's hooked up with also probably every chick in the DC universe.
Everyone's
he is by and far the biggest slut in the entire DC universe. Yeah. Like if there was any character you'd want to be in the DC universe, if you were a man, you probably or a woman, either way, you'd probably want to be Nightwing. Nightwing.
Well, I mean, even like in the comics, a lot, especially after Ollie and Laurel broke up.
Black Canary.
Yeah, Black Canary's totally got the hots for Nightwing.
I was actually going to say that right now. Like, even Black Canary, who kind of helped train Nightwing, is like, she's like, yeah, you know, that guy's kind of hot. You know? I want that kind
well, no, he's not a little kid anymore.
No, but still, it's like bizarre. Like, think about yourself in that situation. You're like, I trained that chick, but she's not a little girl anymore. It's like weird.
Where was it in Young Justice when McGann she shapeshifts into Black Canary and is like
she's hooking up
role
with Connor,
playing with Superboy as Black Canary.
I've been tweeting Cartoon Network too, angrily lately, and I've been like, why? How could you destroy Young Justice right when McGann and Connor were about to reconcile? Like, dude, but I didn't.
I mean, I was more concerned with Darkseid coming in.
That was awesome.
Their relationship.
But there were so many so I just finished watching Young Justice, and there were so many open ends, like so many things that weren't resolved that could have made for a great third season. Yeah, dude, Darkseid, and then there were a lot of weird things too, like being a fan of the comics, and I mean it's weird because Young Justice got me into the whole DC universe, but being a fan of the comics and like seeing Vandal Savage shake Darkseid's hand, who Darkseid would never shake anyone's hand. He'd be like, "I'll destroy you," you know. But McGann and Connor would have gotten back together, which would have been awesome. I mean, and Lagan was like not even involved. I hated Lagan like the whole time, dude. And you like I messaged you. I was like Lagoon Boy. You were like Lagoon Boy. He's not a Lagoon man.
Yeah,
he's like Creature from the Black Lagoon, you know.
Character I don't really care for.
Through the whole, I know, I agree. Blue Beetle was the star of that whole second season, and I love Blue Beetle. Impulse was awesome. But so like speaking on that point, Wally West disappears. And they said that there was no Speed Force or whatever, but for the third season they could have easily brought him back, or made like half the season part of him like being in the Speed Force.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and talking to like someone like Jay Garrick or something like that, who's in the Speed Force or something like that. You know what I mean? They could have made it work so well and made it like really compelling, but they like the problem is that their target audience was all kids, and they're like, oh, the kids aren't like getting their parents to buy these toys or whatever. When in reality,
I never even saw the toys. I bet they were shitty as fuck.
But in reality, it's like people like us that watched the show and really enjoyed it, when they should be marketing to people like us who are going to buy the seasons or like tune into the show. You know,
it
like
was
how does that make
a show
sense?
that ended way too soon.
It was kind of like beyond its age group too.
Speaking
in my
of
opinion.
Shows that ended kind of soon, this week was the final episode of the final season of Key and Peele.
And you know what? I've been like trying to watch a lot of. Have you watched a lot of Key and Peele?
I mean, I don't watch it like other shows where it's like, oh, I got to watch the new episode this week. Like, I'll just watch it.
It's not. Well, nothing is like connected as far as Key and Peele goes.
No,
it's all sketch.
It's sketch comedy. Yeah.
But I've watched like because I really want to see some of the stuff they do is fucking hilarious.
I love watching them uncensored on the YouTube channel too. That's like the best way to consume them because then you're not. you don't have to. They bleep out a lot of stuff, or stuff gets edited down for TV. So then you get to see what their real vision.
It would be great if they put out full uncensored sketches of Key and Peele.
They have.
I mean, well, not. I mean, full uncensored episodes. Excuse me.
Oh, like entire episodes.
Yeah, because, well, like I got to the second episode of the first season, which really isn't like, and I like I've watched a few of those things, like just the singular episodes, which I think are really great, and I've been making it a point to try and watch the entire thing, thus far. But that's kind of one of the parts that turns me off. Another thing is and we'll talk about this in a minute, but like in Mr. Robot, they bleep out a lot of stuff.
Let's talk about Mr. Robot.
They say fuck a billion times in Mr. Robot, and it's all bleeped out.
Well, it's not okay. So most other shows just wouldn't even bother saying fuck. You know what I mean? They just write it differently.
It seems like that's a show that should be on Showtime.
Well, yeah, if it was on Showtime, obviously there'd be no restrictions. But I think someone said something about how they like the fact that they're able, like, since it's cable, they're like, fuck. And instead of getting like a beep or like some shit like that,
they just bleep it out.
It's just
kind of cut it out.
The volume drops on it, and you don't hear them actually say it, but that's what they're fucking saying.
Think about the guy who like has to. That's his job. He is like fuck.
Well,
they said fuck 52 times in this episode.
I mean, it's got to be worse. Like, what about the guy who was working the booth at the Super Bowl when Janet Jackson's titty came out? Like, he was probably like, oh my god, I can't censor it in time.
That was like one moment, though.
But, dude,
it's way more work for the guy who has to do work for fucking Mr. Robot and cut out all the fucks.
I mean, in all honesty, it's probably one of the assistants to the actual editor anyway. Like, he's probably sitting in on the whole editing process. Anyway.
It could be. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that works, but it very well could be. It could be one of the sound editors or someone who's working with the main sound editor. I watched all of Mr. Robot as per Alex's suggestion. He was like, dude, I was like, I'm gonna start watching this other thing. He was like, no, watch Mr. Robot. And I did watch 2 episodes again of Green Lantern, the animated series. Which is, I'll get to that in a second. But Mr. Robot, it's really good. It's a good show. I predicted the entire thing from like the second or third episode, and I messaged it to you. I was like, if his dad is an imagination, if this whole spoiler alert. Sure, I'm sorry.
Spoiler alert for Mr. Robot coming up in the next minute or two.
I already spoiled it.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm curious to know, like, what made you think that before it actually happened? Like, what did you see that?
What the whole issue was? Is that he got pushed off the thing by that dude, and I was like, you know what? I was like, it would be weird if that was his his whole mentality. For some reason, because the guy's already kind of crazy, and they kind of already reveal that in the very beginning, and I was like. Oh, and then you never see them both really talking at the same time to the same people?
Yeah, you know? I think they did a real good job of making it subtle, though, because honestly, that scene where he got pushed off, I didn't understand it until the end. Like
I got it the same, or not the same episode, but the episode after I pretty much got it.
But either way, I was totally caught off guard when it was revealed that it was just Mr. Robot was just a figment of his imagination.
You know what I'll say is the show is really well put together, and if you like Fight Club, you'll love this show. I think that you'll really enjoy it because Fight Club kind of doesn't go into depth the same way that this show does. You know what I mean? It's like Fight Club the show almost.
Yeah.
The one part that really caught me off guard, and spoiler alert again, is when he kisses Darlene.
Sister.
Yeah, and she's like, "Do you know who I am?" And he's like, "I know who you are. You're Darlene." And at that point, I didn't realize that. And
that's like his breakdown. Like I wasn't even understanding what was going on.
There were a lot of moments in that show. Like, what about when an unexplained moment? And I messaged you about this. I was like, "What the fuck?" He got shot.
When did he get shot?
He got shot when he was doing heroin in the house.
Oh yeah.
He was shooting up heroin.
Yeah,
he was like,
yeah.
"Is this where I've come to? Is this what I'm doing? Like, I'm going to shoot up heroin?" And he, did that. And he, like, some guy was like, "Oh, what the fuck? I want a fucking gun!" Like shot it and like ended up shooting it. That was not exact. It was more dramatic.
Okay, I think what had happened is one junkie had stolen product from a dealer,
Something like
and
that.
A fight ensued.
But he was on heroin, and the guy like came out. He's like, "I got a fucking gun! I'm a junkie, motherfucker!"
And he killed like one woman, and then
he killed. Okay, there was a girl that got on top of him after fucking helping him shoot up.
Yeah.
And she was making out with him, right? And then she sat down on the side, and she got shot 3 times in the chest. And then he
I don't
stood
remember
up.
him getting shot.
He stood up, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And he got shot twice.
Okay.
But
But they didn't explain it.
Apparently, that never happened.
It's hard to tell because he's lost it, and everything you're seeing
I don't know.
From Elliot's perspective, and he's fucking crazy. So I mean, how much of what he's showing us can you believe?
And so this is what like some people have also commented about the show. They say like that it's kind of bullshit that they took that turn on it, because how do you know that any of it's real?
Yeah.
It might all be fake, and he might just be like in some mental facility thinking about shit. You know what I mean? Or like dreaming.
That would be dumb. Like I hope what happened at the very last episode, like literally the world uprising. I hope all that shit is not just a figment of his imagination.
Can I just say that the guy who was the interim CTO who shot himself in the mouth?
He wasn't the
CFO. He was the CFO.
On camera?
Yeah.
No, he was the press guy. He was like
No, he was some CFO or something like that. It said that on the screen.
Okay.
He wasn't the CEO, but he was a big time dude for Evil Corp or whatever. And they totally and I talked about this on the last episode of the Macrocast, but they totally talk like they do this like in the way that guy, what the fuck is his name? Buzz, I don't know. Some guy actually killed himself on camera a while back, but he shot himself, and I was like, I've seen the video of the real dude killing himself, and it was so fucking accurate.
Yeah.
Like the way he shot himself, and the blood just poured out of his nose, like in Mr. Robot. You know, I was like, wow, they really took some. They really watched that video a few times.
And that's one of the reasons why they aired that episode a week later, is because there was an actual on-air shooting that same week.
Okay, so the on-air shooting, did someone actually shoot themselves?
No, someone shot a reporter and a cameraman.
In the head?
I haven't seen the video, but yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's fucked
But that episode is like the one thing that I'll say about that whole thing, and I might catch some flack for it, is that it seemed really rushed. Like that, she was like, "So the country's never going to recover from it," and he was like, no," and like grabbed his gun and shot himself in the fucking mouth.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of wasn't expecting it, but when you see the way he was acting earlier, like, "Oh no, don't touch my bag."
Yeah, don't touch my bag.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense,
Yeah.
but it wasn't really like the way he was acting in the entire interview could have been a little bit more, you know. I don't know. Like having watched the other interview where this is based upon, where this actually happened. I mean, the guy was like, he was pretty reformed until he asked for his bag, and then, I mean, it's just different circumstances. Like the guy was under trial for like different things, you know. So he asked for his bag and then pulled a gun out of the bag and said, "If anybody has any problems with this, please leave the room. Like you're going to see some really vile stuff, you know, or something that's going to mark you." And in the show, what did he even say to what's her name before he was like, "Oh no," like,
Oh my
he
God.
like, no, I don't. I mean, it was just he said something like really, it was just really short and kind of blunt to her before she like walked up to try to talk to him. Right? What was her name again? Her name is Portia. Her real name is Portia something.
Yeah.
She has I remember Portia because I think that's such a crazy name.
She was such a non-important character, and
But that was Elliot. Elliot was like, he's kind of in love with her.
oh yeah, he's been in love with her since he met her, like since their parents
Died.
got fucked. Well,
Both died.
Her mom died and his dad died.
Right.
Yeah.
Both of them died.
Uh-huh.
But she was supposed to go up and help him, right? And he said something to her that was like, "Step back," or something. I couldn't even catch what he said. I didn't even like rewind it, but it was kind of like you couldn't even interpret it properly. It was just kind of bizarre. Like, and then the next scene that it's like her meeting with the CEO, and he's like giving her $1,000 for new shoes.
Hasn't that guy, he's been in a lot of stuff.
He's been in a lot of movies.
Hasn't he played a Time Lord in Doctor Who?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think he has.
He's been in a lot of... Yeah, I think he was in Walking Dead. Yeah. I kind of almost feel like he was in Walking Dead.
And, he was the priest in Ray Donovan, too.
Oh,
the one they killed.
Dude. Yeah. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Ray like shoots him in the head. Oh, that's amazing. I can't believe that's so funny that you like caught that reference.
Let's talk about this. Women are sending their breast implants to Norman Reedus.
Wait, why is this this is the next topic?
Well, what's funny about this is he was interviewed, and when asked about it, Norman Reedus has encouraged women to continue sending them his breast implants.
Why? That's so bizarre.
I don't know, man.
That's the most bizarre thing I could. I have no. How did you hear about this? I have no knowledge about this.
He goes, this is what Norman Reedus said. I'm going to take them out of all the women's bodies and just make a giant pile of them and lay my head on them. Yeah, send more breast implants. This is a real thing, dude.
That can't be real.
It's real.
Where did he say that?
In an interview.
With who?
Who did he say Entertainment Weekly.
Holy shit. He said, I want to lay my head on your breast. So what are women, like, cutting their breast implants out?
Well, maybe they have, like, samples. I don't know. Here, let's see.
This is pending, like, more information from me because I'm kind of, like, sickened by this.
Why?
This is a real thing.
I mean, it's weird.
He's like, what if women are cutting their breast implants out?
No, they're, like...
How would you give them your breast implant?
They're not the actual ones from inside their breasts.
Wait, well, what is that even? So what, they like buy breast implants just to send to him?
Yeah, I think so.
No, dude.
I think so, man.
I don't know, man. This is weird. This is like the one topic that we've ever talked about on this podcast that I kind of feel off about.
Really? This is it.
This is the one.
This is it.
This is it.
Oh god.
Right now. This is the one that I feel off. Like he's like, I will rest my head on your breast implants.
No, he wants to make a pile of them to rest his head on.
That's even more bizarre. How much dude?
How much make a pile?
How many breast implants make? How much breast implants makes a pile? I'm caveman. I speak proper.
Oh, man.
Like, but no, how many breast dude, that's so bizarre.
Well, so far he's only received 2. He's received 2.
Yeah, don't send him anymore.
I wonder if they're from the same person.
Please. Oh my god. That's even worse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just as bad, actually. Because if the 2 different women sent them, they'd be like, what, do you have to, like, cut out a breast implant?
No, dude, I don't think people are cutting the implants out of their breasts.
If you're doing that, then don't do it. If you're like, otherwise,
I mean, we can't advise that.
If you're buying breast implants just to send to him to like sleep on, then just buy him a fucking like pillow. Yeah. What are those pillows called that are like the sleep better pillows that have like the memory foam and like send him one of those. He'll sleep great. Yeah. He doesn't need to sleep on boobs.
I mean, that might be his thing, dude.
Dude, he could easily sleep on like live boobs.
But what if that's his thing?
I don't give a fuck if that's his thing. There's no way
that
like
Walking Dead comes back October 10th.
I'm disgusted. Okay, so I just had a conversation about this. Like, I'm so excited for Walking Dead to come back. And on that note, yeah, great. I'm so excited for Walking Dead to come back, though. I like every time I watch Fear the Walking Dead. And there was no episode last week, but this week there will be a new episode. I'm so excited for that. I'm going to watch the shit out of that, and it's just going to get my penis just really hard for, a new episode of Walking Dead. I'm going to be like, oh, Rick, bang the zombies.
There's a rumor going around that Andrew Lincoln may be leaving the show.
He's going to die.
No, this is the rumor, which his publicists and all his people have said is not true. But the rumor was that he was leaving the show because he was tired of moving his family to and from England and Georgia, and I guess he just wants to stay put.
His publicist said that wasn't true?
Yeah.
Then it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but who knows? They may be keeping it under wraps.
Nah, his publicist works for him. Like, why would...
No, I know his publicist works for him, but what if he doesn't want the public to know yet that he's leaving the show?
Why would they not say that?
Because it's going to piss people off.
I mean, yeah, maybe they might be like, oh, well, I mean, honestly, if they do that, then at the very end of the season, he'll die.
Yeah.
Or something.
But, I mean, like, Rick and Carl are the two characters, even in the comics, who they can't die. If they die, the story is pretty much over. No, I don't think so, dude.
I thought that Carl lives on and Rick dies.
No,
and Carl just has one eye.
I think Judith dies in the comics.
Good.
Like, and that's...
We don't know her yet.
And that's what makes them,
Good.
They refuse.
She'll turn into a child star on Disney and become like Miley Cyrus.
Disney is gone. There's no Disney in the world of Walking Dead.
Dude, have you heard Miley Cyrus's new track, by the way?
Oh,
it's so bad. It's like, yeah, I smoke weed. Yeah, I do drugs. It's like really, really, it's really, the production is just bad. Like, everything is bad. I don't know. I listened to that. Like, I listened to a good half of the song, and I was like, this is not. I have no interest in this at all.
Understandable.
Did you see the photos of her from the VMAs?
Yeah, all her different.
She had a bunch of different outfits, and all of them were very revealing.
Yeah,
they were all very revealing.
One, she looked like Lilu from The Fifth Element.
Wasn't that she was with like Jared Leto? She took a photo with Jared Leto from that, and
really?
Jared Leto was at that show. Which, honestly, I feel like Jared Leto should not do anything public until the actual movie comes out.
Well, dude, I mean, they're done filming, aren't they?
Yeah, but still,
but
like
he's
once the
gotta
movie
keep working, probably he's gonna find another job.
Yeah, but why does he need to go to the VMAs? Like, I mean,
he was invited. You're like,
but,
God damn you, Jared Leto! Why'd you have to go to the VMAs?
But realistically, I feel like I don't know if they're really gonna sell the fuck out of this movie. Like, okay, so I sent you like a message recently where I was like, dude, I watched a few clips from Dark Knight Rises, and I'm gonna. You guys are gonna flame the fuck out of me for this, but I was like, the Joker was
from the Dark Knight.
Dark Knight Rises, or was
the Joker wasn't Dark Knight?
Dark Knight Rises is Bane.
Yeah.
Dark Knight, yeah, and that's what I watched. I'm sorry, excuse me. So the Dark Knight, and I was like, the Joker is not what like I remembered it when I watched it. I thought this was amazing. But having read the comics, it's good, but it's not like
it's just not the quintessential Joker.
It's like Heath Ledger died doing that role, and it's not even as hardcore as you'd want it to be.
Well, I think it is hardcore. It's just a different hardcore. It's not as much Joker as me or you would expect.
I feel like his Joker was good, but it should have been 50% more. Like, the Joker in general should have been like crazy.
He wasn't like
in Batman's face, and Batman beat the shit out of him for like kind of no reason. Like, when I watched
the interrogation room?
That whole scene
it's not for no reason.
Well, he's like, where's Harvey Dent? But he's like, well, all right, I'll tell you. All right, like
never start with the head. The subject gets woozy.
But the Joker himself would never he would make that whole thing go on way longer than it should have.
Well, and I feel like
and been like way more whimsical and
it would have been more dramatic
and stupid. It would have been more stupid too.
Exactly. But that's why they like to call Heath Ledger's Joker the anarchist. Like, he wasn't so much of like the clown prince of crime as he was just some dude who wanted to watch the world burn.
You know what kind of pisses me off, though, is so many people about that movie are like, oh, he's just a dog chasing cars, which is literally what he says when he's talking to Harvey Dent. He's like, I'm a dog chasing cars,
Yeah.
And he literally says that to him, and it's like the Joker was like, why? Okay, that's the way that you're going to describe the Joker? Like, you clearly never read any of the comics, I mean, it is.
I'm sure they all read the comics, dude. I'm sure they have all read.
All of the user comments that are like posted about that shit, and the people that are posting to Reddit about like people being or him being like, oh, Heath Ledger's Joker is a dog chasing cars, rather.
Yeah. Oh, those people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, those people are probably, the people who really love it, or more people who go to movies Like, those people probably have, like you said, haven't read Batman comics. Or...
I feel like, frankly, most of the people that have read the Batman comics were disapproving of Heath Ledger's Joker.
I mean, either way,
they
we gotta
appreciated
look at
it for
this
what
way,
it
man.
is.
All these superhero movies that are getting made, they don't cater to comic book readers because the audience is way too small. They're never going to make any money off the movies.
But that's kind of okay.
It's
So
shitty.
for instance, okay.
It's
So
the way
like
it is,
I said that I was going to bring it back to this. So you were talking. I started watching Mr.Robot, but before that, I watched a bit more of Green Lantern, the animated series, which I had watched before. And now that I've read a ton of Green Lantern, like I've read all of it. I've read all of the Green Lantern stuff up through the New 52 until I haven't read any of the New 52, like the new stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if that's New 52. Is that?
What? What are you talking about?
There's like a New 52, and what's the newest stuff?
Oh,
it's not Convergence.
1 year, I think is what they're calling it.
Okay, so I haven't read any of that, but I've read all
All
the
that
New 52
is
stuff.
New 52, though. It's just
still New 52.
It's still New 52. It's
Okay.
just like everything that's came after Endgame is part of this 1U or whatever it's called.
Just so you guys know, the New 52 is the DC Comics from 2011 to 2015, basically. Mm-hmm. And I've read all of the Green Lantern stuff. Excuse me, but I watched the series, like the animated series, which I used to love, and that's kind of like I watched Young Justice, and then I watched that, and that really got me into DC Comics. And if you don't know anything about Green Lantern, it's great. But now that I know, I've read all of the comics and I watched it, I was like, oh, this is so wrong. This is all so wrong. Like, oh, they've like initiated a Red Lantern into their ship. Wait, first of all, why do they have a ship? The Green Lantern is the most powerful weapon in the universe. Like,
I like the idea of the ship, though.
And that does happen in the comics, too.
Yeah.
They have a ship.
I think the ship is fucking awesome.
Let me tell you the reason that they have a ship is because Hal and Guy, and this is in Brightest Day, Hal and Guy, their rings are corrupted, so they can't use their rings, so they take a ship that the Guardians have built. But in the show, they say that they have, this, like, your rings, it would take you, like, 14 months to travel to this side of the universe. When in reality, the, like, Green Lantern Corps can travel there like that. Mm-hmm. Like, the Green Lantern Corps can be anywhere like that. In the comics, you know, there's no reason for them to have a ship, and then Kilowog is hanging out on the ship when Kilowog is the main dude who's training all of these new recruits.
Basically, it was kind of like a sci-fi show, which is how they had to...
It's exactly like a sci-fi show. It's totally
I
made
don't mean
for
sci-fi
TV.
the network. I mean...
That's what I'm saying.
No, I mean, it's like a science fiction television show in terms of where, like, they've got this ship, and they hang out on this ship, and they go from mission to mission, and it's like...
Oh, and there's
it's
this
kind
Red
of like
Lantern, but the Red Lantern can take his ring off, and he's like, oh, well, you should become part of this group, because... And so now they have 3 characters, so it makes it more dynamic, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead with what you were saying.
What?
You were on a tangent, but I'm, like, chiming in. Like, I don't know, there's, like, a Red Lantern who's on part of the, like... He's part of the group, but so the Red Lanterns can never take their rings off. Like in the continuity, like in the actual comics, if they take their rings off, they die. They're so fueled by rage that it's connected to their heart.
To their rage.
It's it's connected to in the show. They're like, your new master is Atrocitus. He's going to be your master, and he's going to tell you what to do. It's like, that's never what the deal is with the Red Lanterns. Like, Atrocitus might lead them, but their rage is what fuels all of them.
Yeah.
So which is more compelling, really. Like, Bleeze, who's a Red Lantern or whatever, is like, if anything was to really piss her off, she would, like, puke red flames all over them. Yeah. And in the show, the guy just, like, screams. He's like, oh, and takes his red lantern, or his red ring off.
Yeah.
It's, like, so lame. It's like, oh, but it's made for kids.
Yeah, that probably has a lot to do with it
And Young Justice was never like that.
Well, Young Justice was definitely more adult.
It was more adult than the Green Lantern series, which is more expensive on Amazon Prime, guys. And I bought both of them, so that's all I'll say.
Let's move on to movies. So I watched one good movie this week and one bad movie this week. for us.
That's awesome. What's the good one? Let's start with the good and then go to the bad, because the bad's going to be way more interesting.
So the good was another movie that I had missed while it's in theaters, Whiplash. I know it was an Academy Award winner last year, and it took me a while to watch it. But
who is in that?
It's real. J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller, the dude who played Mr. Fantastic in the new reboot. It's actually a really, really good movie.
I've never even heard of this movie.
It's like about this guy who he goes to like a music conservatory school or something in New York, and he's like trying to become the greatest jazz drummer of all time. It's actually really good. And J.K. Simmons is just
You guys could just see the face that I'm making right now.
And J.K. Simmons, who won an Academy Award for the movie, is just like, he's literally everything he says, he's like a fucked up teacher who's like trying to motivate people by being a dick.
I kind of like that guy in everything, though.
Yeah.
I think he's a good actor that's super underappreciated.
He is. I mean, dude, he won
They're like,
Academy Award.
you were J.J. Jameson. You're like, in Spider-Man. Like,
No
why
one
would I
was winning
ever
an
cast
Academy
you
Award
for anything?
Spider-Man, like, you know,
It's Tommy Maguire.
goddamn Sam Raimi. Those movies.
Did you hear what I just said? I was like, Tommy Maguire. You're like, Tommy Maguire.
I'm sorry, but I hate those movies.
I saw. Okay, so I watched Inception recently, and I saw a photo of Leo hanging out with Tobey Maguire.
Oh.
Like all of those kids, like they all like knew each other when they were like growing up, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna be famous."
And they were.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire's like, "I'm gonna be Spider-Man," and then fucking Leo was like, "I'm gonna be in Inception." Dude, Inception has a lot of like plot holes too. Dude.
Inception is what you view as like his defining role.
No, but Inception has a lot of plot holes too, man. That's just the most recent Leo movie that I've watched.
I saw it once when it came out, and that's it.
I watched it. Let me just tell you, watch it again, and you'll be like, okay, wait, but why the fuck did this happen? Like, the pacing for the first half of that movie is just like so like, let's get to this point. Let's get to this point. Let's make this happen.
I have a lot to say about pacing concerning the bad movie I saw this week. It was like ultimately
What was the bad movie that you watched?
So I watched Need for Speed.
Need for Speed? I didn't even realize that was a movie.
With Aaron Paul from
Oh
Breaking
my god,
Bad.
wait. So what, he's like the main dude?
He is the main dude. Okay, either way, we talked about how there's never been a good video game movie, and we're hoping that Michael Fassbender's Assassin's Creed movie is going to be the one, like the first one to be a good video game
When
movie.
did Need for Speed come out?
Let me see. It came out last year.
So, but did it come out before Fast and Furious 7?
Oh, that came out this year.
Okay.
Fast and the Furious 7 came out this year. This came out of March last year.
Because Aaron Paul is kind of like a Paul Walker kind of dude.
No.
It's kind of similar.
I mean, okay, so I kind of like the cast. Remy Malek is in it, too, and he's awesome.
Who's that?
He plays Elliot in Mr.Robot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dominic Cooper, who's, like, kind of well-known. Michael Keaton plays, like... Okay, Michael Keaton is, like...
If you guys, once again, if you could see the face that I'm making.
Yes, Michael Keaton is in this movie, and he plays, like, this...
He plays Batman?
His name is Monarch, and he's, like, this billionaire with money to blow, and he organizes this illegal racing event.
So basically Michael Keaton.
He organizes an illegal racing event called the De Leon, and basically
pretty dumb.
The whole pacing of the movie is totally off. Like at one point, this guy is like, "All right, I need you to finish building the last car that Shelby ever worked on before he died," and it's like, okay. And then literally the next scene, the car is already built. We didn't even get a fucking montage.
Didn't that also happen in like Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift?
The first scene of the movie is totally ripped off from the first Fast and the Furious movie.
The first one?
Yeah.
Or the Tokyo Drift?
The first one. Okay.
In Tokyo Drift, he gets a Shelby.
No, I know
Doesn't
that.
he?
No, but that's like that's an old ass Shelby. This was a one that Shelby was working on before he died. A new Mustang.
Oh. Okay.
And literally, that Mustang is supposed to be the star of the show, and then 30 minutes before the movie is over...
It just happened.
It's gone. And you never see the Mustang. No one ever even talks about it. Like, oh, that Mustang is gone. That Mustang was fucking cool. but literally nobody says a word about it.
So they spend all this time building that up, and then nothing even happens.
And then, well, okay, so the other car he ends up using at the end has significance too, so I kind of understand. Either way, this movie could have been good. It really, really could have been good. I think some of the dialogue was, like, really clunky, and the pacing was off, but, like, all the cinematography is really great. Like, all the shots are framed great. But, yeah, ultimately it was just bad writing and bad pacing that kind of fucked up the movie.
Well, tell me what else was really bad as well. Like, what if you're thinking about the movie? What was like another point that was just really hysterically bad? There has to be another point that was like really.
I think the whole
I know that they spent a lot of money on that movie.
It made a lot of money too, but like, I'm sorry, Michael Keaton is a great fucking actor, and I'm guessing it's the lines they gave him to say in this movie, but it's just fucking terrible. Like, he's basically hosting a podcast, but it's like a podcast where he's talking about an illegal race that he's holding. Like, this shit would get busted, so everything that happens in the movie, they would have gotten arrested for right away. Like,
this movie, by the way, guys, has 22% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Always outrunning the cops in this movie is such bullshit.
What about Imogen Poots?
Yeah, she's like the main. Is she really British? She has a British accent in the movie.
And then there's Kid Cudi, isn't it too?
Kid Cudi.
Yeah, he's Benny.
Is he really?
She's from.
That's Kid Cudi?
She's from London. Yeah.
Whoa, he looks different. Okay, yeah, that was a pretty major role too, and he was the comedic relief of the movie.
Of course.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, oh, we'll get this black rapper who's gonna be the comedic relief.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous, dude. It happens in all of these fucking, like, okay, Ant-Man is like, oh, well, why don't we get T.I.? Like, we'll get T.I. It's like, why does T.I. belong in this movie? Like, why don't we get someone...
I mean, T.I. is an actor.
Dude, why don't we get, like, Hannibal Buress, who is fucking hilarious?
Yeah. Well,
like,
Hannibal Buress in Neighbors is so funny.
Dude, he is funny. Okay, he's in 30
Do
Rock
some
as
cat
well.
Stuff.
Dude, in 30 Rock, he's the recurring homeless guy.
Yeah.
And he's fucking hilarious.
He's really funny.
Like, why would you not just... they probably paid a hell of a lot more money to get T.I. in that movie. They're probably like, dude, Hannibal Buress is going to make a lot of dick jokes and shit.
So another stupid...
Like, we can't do that.
Kid Cudi is in jail. He's in, like, military jail at the end of this movie. And he tells, like, his guard, he's like, yo, can I get an iPad? And she brings him an iPad. I was like, what the? This is bullshit.
Oh, so it's Kid Cudi in jail. Like, that's basically what... She's like, oh, I love your song Day and Night, so I'm going to bring you an iPad Pro. Do you want an iPad Pencil, too?
Yeah.
An
Apple Pencil.
It's Apple. It's not an iPencil.
No,
it's an Apple Pencil.
Yeah. So speaking of other video game,
you should just be able to use your dick and like write on the iPad
I
with
think
your.
you already can.
With your. Can you already do that? I own an iPad. I've never tried doing that.
You're going to be trying as soon as I leave.
I will do that tonight. I'll get a hard on and I'll just write on my fucking iPad with my pee-pee.
Speaking of other video game adaptations. Fox is developing a live-action Mega Man movie.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool.
Real quick,
That's really cool.
There are 6, 7, 8 video game movie adaptations that have yet to be released.
What are they?
Ratchet and Clank.
Cool.
Coming in April of next year.
Gonna be cool.
The Angry Birds movie coming May of next year.
Not cool, but that has a crazy cast. That has, like, Oprah on the cast. And Oprah's going to be like, you want to see the Angry Birds movie for free? And people are going to be like, fuck yeah!
Angry Birds for everyone!
She's going to be like, oh, then squirt on the crowd! All these fucking women are just going to rub on their vaginas and squirt all over.
The Warcraft movie on June 10th.
It's not real. Someone told me recently this guy was like that. He was like squirting his just... He was like,
that's not real.
He was like squirting his urine, dude.
Well, yeah.
He told me that recently.
What'd you think it was?
Dude, there have been several studies, man.
Resident Evil, the final chapter, the last Resident Evil movie.
Is Mila going to be in it?
I think she is. January
Jovovich?
Of 2017.
Jovovich or Kunis?
Jovovich.
Kunis would be pretty good in it, too.
No.
I would watch that.
She should have played Michelle Rodriguez's character in the first movie.
Yeah. She would have been like 16.
Uncharted, the movie, coming June 30th.
Who's going to be in that?
Isn't it?
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, wasn't it Mark Wahlberg?
I heard it was Marky Mark. I heard it was the Marquis de Mark.
And the last two are Sky Cooper and Sonic the Hedgehog, which have no dates.
Sky Cooper doesn't really need a movie. That video game wasn't
neither
very
does
popular.
Neither does Sonic.
Sonic could be a good movie for kids if it's like
I feel
Pixar.
I feel like it's gonna try to be like that Pixels movie where it's just
fail.
Where it's just like two worlds clashing.
I feel like if it was like Pixar making it, they would do a really good job doing it though.
Oh, Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake? I'm not opposed to that.
Of course. Because Nathan Fillion is like, they're like, oh, let's put him as every video game character ever.
What other video game character is he?
They're like, oh, I don't know, like just every character. They're like, oh yeah, man, he should be Green Lantern, he should be Hal Jordan. Let's do that.
He should not be a Green Lantern, but I think he'd make a good Nathan Drake.
They were like, we should make him the head character in like the new GTA. He should be the vocal, like the same guy.
He's a character in the new Halo game coming out next month.
Christ.
His name is Buck. He's one of the Spartan 4s.
Does he like to fuck?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
We were talking. Okay,
that's our show.
Wait, you and I had watched Ray Donovan like recently, and you were like, "No, Terry's going to hook up with Abby," and I was like, "No, that's not gonna happen." He was like, and Alex was like, "Dude, he fucks." He was like, Terry fucks.
You were trying to say that he doesn't have sex because he has Parkinson's.
That's not what I said.
You said he had a shaky dick, and I quote, "He had a shaky dick."
Flame us.
Yeah.
No, but I was like, dude, I don't think that he's going to have sex with his brother's wife.
But there is sexual tension there.
Yeah, okay, I don't really know.
They shared a dance in the last episode, and Ray was like
eyeballing
them.
So sharing a dance means that there's sexual tension?
But it wasn't, dude. Were you watching the show, or were you playing Solitaire?
No, when I watch Ray Donovan, I'm fucking fully invested, dude. Okay. I have my dick in my hand when I watch that.
He's got Parkinson's, you fucking cunt.
And he's like, it's good to have a Southie bitch at your side.
Yeah.
But I don't think that... I don't know. And apparently a lot of people have talked about this. Maybe there might be a kiss that's shared, but I don't think that Ray is going to have... Or Terry is going to have sex with Abby.
I think... Okay, that's kind of a stretch, but I do think there's some kind of weird shit going on between the
Alex
people.
was like, that guy fucks, dude.
You were trying to say he doesn't fuck.
And I was like, I've been known to fuck myself, dude.
You said he only fucked the nurse once and with a shaky dick.
No, I never said that. He fucked the nurse several times.
Yeah, he fucked her.
Okay, wait. You're making this like you're way embellishing this.
No, not even.
Dude, I never said he only fucked the nurse once and with a shaky dick. That makes me sound like an asshole. I said that he's got a shaky dick. He's got Parkinson's, but like I was like, dude, he's like fucked this chick, the nurse many times. They had lots of sex. But he definitely fucks,
You used it as a way to say that that's why he's not going to have sex with Abby, is because he can't. He can't.
I was joking. Oh. It was a joke in poor taste, okay?
Well, I mean, I wasn't offended.
But our listeners are going to be very offended.
God, if they haven't left by now, they're probably not going anywhere.
They're probably all gone. But I personally hope that doesn't happen. We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah.
Ian McShane is fantastic in that episode. I can't believe he's a murderer now.
Katie Holmes is awesome.
And I was like, now I think that Katie Holmes is kind of hot.
Ray owns 3% of a football team, and the director of the FBI is back.
I did the math on that football team too. That stands that Ray would be making like $9 million a year.
Dude, he's going to be legit now.
So Ray really needs this to go through. But if you guys haven't tuned into Ray Donovan yet, you guys really should tune in. And it's
we just
fantastic
spoiled a bunch of shit for you.
Yeah, but it's a great show, and the acting and it just makes it worthwhile.
It is a great show.
Even if you know the spoilers, you're going to forget about that once you start watching the very beginning and go through it.
True.
It's a great show. It's worth watching, and that's our show.
Speaking of great shows, This was ours.
Yeah, this is... Oh, and it's just the greatest and best you could ever watch.
If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes.
We would love you.
We'll read out your review live on the show. Flame us, love us, either way, it's getting read out.
Send us dick pics.
Tweet us at the Macrocast and use the hashtag the Macrocast so we know you're talking about the show.
Send us tit pics.
Yep. Send it all.
Send us butt pics.
Plug away.
My name is Downlow'd. That's DOWNLOW''D. You can find me at facebook.com/officialdownload, soundcloud.com/download, or tweet me at Downlow'd here, Instagram me at Downlow'd. That's DOWNLOW'D. I love you guys if you voted for me in the DJ Mag Top 100. The voting is no longer open, but I love you guys if you did, and thank you for tuning in. Please rate our show. It would mean a lot to us, and we would love you long time.
Oos.
Thank you, guys. And now enjoy the digital BPM remix of Crystal, or of
Crystal Meth?
Of LSD?
Yeah.
God bless.
A nice warm feeling. And then there were the visuals. Bright, colorful auras. Then it was uncontrollable. Then it was uncontrollable. The lights, the heat, the sweat. 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 Then it was uncontrollable. Then it was uncontrollable. Then it was uncontrollable.